Okay, so this is a description of Slynx. It's a very ad hoc video, so some of them may not be taken correctly, but just take this as reference. So the number one thing that is very different from the traditional Slynx, right, is this Slynx 2.1. So 2.1 have this jagged edge that do tensioning. Later we'll explain why it's tensioning. So this part is generally the same. However, if you notice, there's an M6 bolt inside here that tension to the back down here. So technically you should see 2 screws for the buttstock and 1 tensioner on top. So this tensioner uses an Allen key and tension. Okay, so before you begin, right, you always loosen this a little bit. Okay, and then later on you'll be used for tensioning. Means you will pull the entire plaster together. Okay, I shall just go through components by components and we see how it goes. Okay, so this is the part. Second, this is the trigger group. I guess most people will do it correctly. This is no difference from your traditional Slynx. However, this nut down here, you notice there's a M4 nuts, right? This is to hold on to your barrel. So technically your barrel, once it tightens, right, it will bite 2 bite mark. Notice there's 2 bite mark. It's because of this 2 point out here. So when you tighten it enough, right, you see barely sticking out. Okay, I suggest you to super glue the nut in while making it turnable, and then if you need, right, you can put some maybe nail polish or low resistant Loctite, right, which is the Yoo-Hoo glue format, something like that, the A220 equivalent. The very weak, super weak, it's not even blue, to make this nut hole. Okay, so when on vibration on the shots, right, it won't shake the barrel out or loosen it. Okay, the classic tube, nothing special about this guy. The spring, okay, spring is fine. However, the spring comes with 2 custom-made rings. These 2 custom-made rings actually lands on 2 ends of the spring itself. So one is placed on, this is the catch, okay, one inside here, and then the other inside the plunger like that. Okay, just throw it in, throw your spring in, and then they will hold in some sense like this. It is a cushion for the 3D printed parts. Okay. Next is the plunger. I guess a lot of people have issue. This is the Gen 1 of the plunger. We will launch the new design very soon. Basically, it flips this screw up 180, but both will work. Screws length never change. It's just for easier installation. So most people, when you tighten this rubber band nut, right, you will realize that there is a gap at the lip here. So we are trying to close up the gap. So once you close up the gap, this stays still. However, you can use this Loctite, right, to tighten it a little bit more or a little bit less. Why? When you tighten it, you will expand the O-ring. When you expand the O-ring, this is your air brake, right? So technically, you should see some frictional force happening here. Okay, so even if you don't have, I think it's fine. If you go any fancier, you can put a cushion here or rubber cushion out here, but I would suggest to have a little bit of expanding. Means you tighten this lock nut such as this, first O-ring expand and push it in. So it's resistant. So you know your slam fire is to protect the slam fire. Okay, over time the parts will wear because ultimately they are plastic, right? You need to tighten this guy a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, your 2 critical pins that goes through here. If you notice, the front it's a circle. Okay, it should drop through very easily. You can see it. I can flip it around. Check that there's an indent now here. This indent catches to the lock, the bearing here. Okay, just a moment.